Alright, this is Excellent Men 246, some more Age of Egg. We have a cover here showing the Age of Egg lineup for the new muties, although in the story they serve a purpose more akin to Excellent Force. Good cover, and one thing I like about Age of Egg is that characters like Cyber and Magma and Korma, they finally got individual designs. They have never had these sorts of unique looks before. They have mostly been stuck wearing Excellent Men uniforms or Excellent Men colours. This is another issue drawn by Clayface, the real one, not that pretender Preston Payne. I didn't need to go out with a backstory, do I? The Excellent Men, they are in like a different world / different reality, and they are defending their fortress, which is the last sanctuary for muties on Earth. Rouge, she has started to discover that things are not as they seem, so the king of this little realm, Mr. Magnets, he has brought in the new muties, or Excellent Force. They are meant to track down and sanction Rouge. Rouge, she has just escaped from the clutches of Mr. Magnets. She shows up at Wolfman's bar. In this weird world, Wolfman, his powers stopped working years ago, and now he is a sad man who hangs around with muties, and he self-arms, hoping that his powers will resurface. He also runs a bar. Rouge, she has turned to him for help. And then we have maybe my favourite scene in this issue. King Mr. Magnets. He talks about things with Bo and Myra MacDonald. And Dan Stevens off telly is there. By now, you know that I have this nonsensical, practically irrational affinity for this character. I like when he is handled well, which he mostly has been since the extinction phase of the Excellent Men books. And this story, this crossover in particular, Age of Egg, it really does some good stuff with Dan Stevens. It's this bit here that I like, where Mr. Magnets, he talks to Dan like he is just one of them. And that is what I want out of my Dan Stevens. None of that badly handled, mental health, overpowered, reality warping, evil nutjob stuff. So Rouge, she lets Wolfman into her belief that this world is not what it seems. I'm sorry if constantly describing everything as being not what it seems is becoming repetitive. That is kind of the whole story. And then the new muties, or Excellent Force, they show up. We get a better look at their designs here. And I do like what they did with Cyber. They just got rid of the annoying robot altogether. And they gave Cyber his powers. That is the correct way to do things. They did it in the 90s too. Good designs all around by Clayface. Good art in general. Oh, this scene here, Mr. Magnets, he interrogates Box. This is a good scene too, actually. I forgot about it until I just turned to it. Really well done. Mr. Magnet, he is written, even though he is being positioned as a hero, and I didn't like Mr. Magnet as a hero, it's none of that tawdry, tortured soul shite. And then in this scene, he flat out is like a mean bully. This is something that I only really took note of this time reading it. And never mind when Mr. Magnet, he's like a hero in the alternative reality stuff, like the original Age of Armageddon or this, because it is a clever case where you can use circumstance to reposition Mr. Magnet in spite of his flaws or the fact that he is not a hero. But I didn't think I had really picked up on this element here with him still being a petty bad guy. If anything, it makes us like this story even more. I would say though, this stuff with the new muties or excellent force, it feels a bit like it's spinning its wheels. This feels like the most padding there is in this story. Age of Egg, it's only 6 parts and they still found some room for some padding. It's not too egregious, and I guess it adds a little bit of action drama and some immediacy to what is happening with Rouge. But these excellent men, these ones who are in the new muties or excellent force, these characters, they didn't bring much to the overall story. And Cannonballs, on the other hand, I really remember him being a main character, but he's barely been in the first 3 parts. He is the leader of the excellent men, or their field leader. He is like the cyclist, and Mr. Magnet is like the Dr. X. But Cannonballs, he hasn't really done much so far. I remember him being like one of the main ones. So the new muties, or excellent force, they have tracked Rouge down, they have got her on the ropes, but then this big tank thing shows up, and this is a really poorly handled sequence. The writing doesn't really cover why this is there. It's meant to be the army, they're invading, but why are the army only sending one massive tank through at a time? Why is there no other soldiers or anything like that? But this, it distracts the new muties or excellent force long enough for Ed Gambit to show up and save Rouge. However, Mr. Magnet, he is also within range, and he spots the 2 of them trying to escape, and he crushes them underneath loads and loads of metal debris and stuff like that. And then he declares them dead, and the terrorist insurgency defeated. Meanwhile, in Wolfman's bar, Wolfman, he is meeting with someone else and relaying what Rouge told him about the nature of their existence not adding up. And the person that Wolfman has gone to with this is Cyclist. If this was your first issue, you wouldn't recognise him because he isn't named and you haven't seen him before in this issue. In Age of Egg, Cyclist, he wears a metal face mask. And these 2 excellent men, the 2 main ones really, they agree that something needs to be done, and Rouge's claims they need investigating because it makes sense. I like this issue in a way. On the surface, there isn't much happening, but I think there's bits going on in it that are good or that work. I think Age of Egg mostly gets by on its momentum and its resolution not being much of a cop-out or the case where it is all reset at the end and none of this stuff matters. I do recommend you at least flip through the trade of this story. I give a 7 thumbs up to this issue.